Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. Today we're diving into an absolutely vital, urgent human rights crisis. And as activists, we really need to look beyond the dry statistics here. We're going to confront a deeply emotional, often totally invisible injustice that is happening right now, literally all across the globe. It's an issue that fundamentally challenges the way we protect and uphold basic human dignity. Okay, I want you to picture something with me for a second. Picture a rural community. And in that community, there's a young girl. At just 13 years old, she vanished from school. She just stopped showing up for several days every single month. Really think about what that actually means for a young mind that's eager to learn, right? To suddenly be completely cut off from her peers, her teachers, her entire daily routine, and just left in total isolation. Okay, let's dive into this because the actual reasons for her absence are what truly ignite that sense of righteous indignation for any human rights advocate. She didn't vanish because she lacked ambition. Actually, scratch that. She desperately wanted to be in that classroom. She didn't vanish because she was sick either. She was perfectly healthy. She vanished because of a totally 100% natural biological process. When we actually look closely at her situation, we uncover this incredibly heartbreaking web of systemic failures. We are looking at a profound, across-the-board lack of basic infrastructure. She had absolutely no safe menstrual products to manage her cycle. She didn't even have a private toilet to offer her the most basic human privacy. And, perhaps the most damaging part of the whole shebang, she lived in a world with absolutely no open conversation. The adults around her were completely, utterly unwilling to even mention menstruation out loud. Years later, when she was reflecting on those days of forced isolation, she shared a piece of firsthand testimony that just cuts right to the absolute core of this crisis. She said, "The hardest part was not the pain, it was the shame." I'm just going to let that devastating emotional toll hang in the air for a second. The physical discomfort, that was totally secondary. It was the suffocating, overwhelming social stigma that truly wounded her spirit. So the crucial point is this, that immense shame is born directly from stigma. It acts as this invisible, heavy barrier to human dignity. As activists, we constantly have to remind the world that this isn't just some logistical supply chain problem of missing tampons or pads. The silence and the deep societal taboo actively rob these young women of their dignity and their self-worth. It literally turns a normal biological function into a psychological cage, isolating them at the exact moment they need support the most. But here's the really scary part. Her story isn't just some isolated incident in one rural town. It scales up to a staggering macro-level crisis. Millions. Think about that for a second. Millions. That's the population of massive cities, and that is the number of girls facing this exact, devastating reality today. This is a massive, global human rights emergency quietly unfolding, month after month, for millions of young women who are just systematically being left behind. And this brilliantly illustrates our invisible injustice, doesn't it? On one side, we have a perfectly natural, healthy biological process. And on the other side, a deeply, deeply unjust consequence: interrupted education, totally lost confidence, and a compromised future. It really highlights how a society's stubborn refusal to accommodate something so incredibly natural is basically allowed to systematically strip away fundamental human rights. It's honestly absurd. But hey, we don't just dwell on the injustice here, right? We demand action. As we look toward Menstrual Hygiene Day 2026, there are three absolutely crucial pillars of change that we must rally behind. Number one, we've got to provide safe products. Number two, we have to build private toilets. And number three, which is huge, foster open conversation to finally, once and for all, shatter that silence. This right here is the essential roadmap to break the stigma and ensure dignity for all. Which brings us to our collective urgent goal. It's simple, really. Periods should never limit potential. This is the core belief that absolutely has to drive us forward. Let's work together to build a world where it is an absolute rock-solid guarantee that no girl's future, no girl's education, and no girl's confidence is ever interrupted by menstruation again. So I want to leave you all with this final, powerful provocation to think about. Will we allow a natural cycle to break their potential? Because the injustice we've unpacked today, it is entirely 100% preventable. The power to change this reality is literally in our hands right now. The time to mobilize for Menstrual Hygiene Day is now, and the time to break the stigma is now. Thank you so much for joining me today, and let's carry this urgent question forward.